Good evening, spirits and specters and Nathans and Hectors, and welcome to another...
I just have a question. What is the difference between a Nathan and a Hector?
They've been asking that since, that was that question before Adam and Eve. Because it wasn't Adam and Steve. Let me
It was Nathan and Hector.
It's Nathan and Hector. Lethal Protector. Lethal Protector, that's
Drinking
Venom.
the nectar.
Nectar, that also rhymed. That's good. Hi, everybody. My name is Philip, and I am the Dreadmaster here on Blood from a Stone, a tale of love and dread in RPG. Stands for role-playing game. Surrounding me are our wonderful players. Say good evening, players.
Good evening, players.
And again, this is the group where they really will do that. This is the only night where they will all do it every time. Because on the other nights, we have mixtures of either actors or actors who are too cool for school, or non-actors, or just people who have, what is it that actors don't, dignity. The thing that actors don't have is called dignity. And
Actors don't have dignity. Don't lie to people.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's the first thing we chuck out the door.
So because they have no dignity, if somebody says, say this, they all say it. You know why? Because they're used to playing warm-up games. They're used to playing zig-zag, zog. Zip, zap, bop.
Zip, zag, zop.
Do you like, hey, Lauren, do you like your neighbor?
Oh, I don't know that one.
Okay.
This is a hairbrush. A what? A hairbrush. A what? A hairbrush. Oh, a hairbrush. This is a lamp. A what? A
I
lamp.
remember that.
What? Oh, God.
Oh, so, I hope that we're all going to have a really fun and good time tonight on this.
Let's go around the circle and just give a little bit about ourselves. What was the last show that you did?
I really love the idea of on episode 91 finally getting around to icebreakers. Speaking of episode 91, guys, I was doing some math. I had no idea about this until just 5 minutes ago. But
He's lying.
Because as I always do for fun, I divided 91 by the number 7. And you know what I got?
13.
I got 13. In addition, last week, do you know what we got when somebody rolled a 13 on their luck? Well, we got this thing moved up to 13, so we have a Dreadstorm.
Yeah, baby.
And then you know what somebody did when they rolled to see if that 13 would trigger a horror surge? They rolled a 13 on that as well. So
Leave me alone.
what we have here...
Oh, that's right, Lauren. It was you.
It was.
Sorry.
You betrayed us.
Well,
No.
she didn't betray you so much as she is that random chance fell to her this occasion. That was the 19th fulfillment of this clock, the dread clock. So what does that mean? It basically means that in these games, a dreadstorm is a circumstance in which, well, we actually aren't totally sure what the players don't quite know, because up until this point, before the breaking of the mist, a dreadstorm meant that one of the other domains sort of passed into another, sort of mixing things up, bringing horrors from other places. Occasionally could also serve as a passage between, but ever since the Dreadlands were broken by one Alvin the Rock Theodore, as he is now known, everything has changed, and this is our first Dreadstorm in this new Darkmoor College age. For the past several weeks, we've been following Medina Lake, who awoke at school as a transfer student, apparently. Although she seemed shocked to be where she was, she also understood some of the parameters of what was going on better than her other other students in this special program. Felix Ducat, his twin brother Friedrich, and Sophie Pellicule. All of these students have seemingly read a book in Holdfast Hall and summoned a character from these works. Characters like the King Bee from an old song, the Voluptua Bikini Team Dancer from various advertising, a horror monster in black and white called the Ghoul from that old classic film starring R.J. Arthur, and Medina brought someone named Wednesday Lake from a book called Murder. Wednesday Lake, did you hear that? Wednesday Line. I said the wrong last name this time.
Wow.
Fine.
Wednesday Line from a book called A Murder of Course, as opposed to Murder by Murder, which is the book that Medina had actually known a different Wednesday from. Very quickly, our students realized that something strange was going on with these characters. They summoned characters who could, to Medina's surprise, leave Holdfast Hall, and now they have learned leave campus itself. They were given some suggestions from everyone from Professor Charles to Joe Hook, the librarian, and even the provost of the university about courses of study, other characters they could bring about. The only other character they brought was someone named the Visionary, a photographer from some erotica, also from the Voluptuan collection, which had a very yonic key, lock with a very phallic key because we're all children. Our characters then ventured off campus, kind of thinking we want to sort of test the limits of what's happening here. Wednesday and the Voluptual Bikini Team Dancer accompanied you into the growing storm. So Felix und Friedrich, rather gingerly, sort of nursing their wounds from the night before when you all encountered a pack of fish people with tridents. You, Sophie, and Medina, along with two of your characters, began walking down the road out the Paradise Gate as opposed to the Ignador Gate or the Old Gate, heading toward Paradise, where Sophie said you could catch a show at the Rogue Theater, a movie. Along the way, you encountered a strange girl who seemed to be looking into the woods of no return, as they are called, given all the murders that happen in them. She was identified as Polly, and she kind of was running, and she kind of isn't sure how she got here. But she said that there was a man, she had many friends, but they've all left or gone. And then Mr. Conrad was acting very strange, and she saw something was coming out of his nose, and she wanted to look into everyone else's noses to make sure nothing was coming out of them. She basically ran away from, she sort of said there were like lines of things. She did not really explain it very well, but longtime viewers would remember the beaked tentacles from those things that drift in the snow. So anyway, that is what she saw. You went further into town. You convinced her to come with you. And you eventually found a man. He was a human. He was in color, but his clothing was kind of old, not old-fashioned like medieval, old-fashioned like 1930s, 40s. A guy from Heistalese, or the big city as he calls it, named Charlie Racket. He woke up on a bender and was here. He doesn't really know about dread coins when you sort of showed that off, but he would certainly take one in his cup. You asked if he knew, so he didn't know about dread coins, but Medina, you then asked if old Charlie Racket knew about Dreadlands. That caused the thunder to roll, and it was actually off a luck roll that happened, because I was trying to see if anyone might have overheard you, and as luck, as a 13 on luck would have it, my good luck, someone did. So as a storm began to form, sort of like to fully come to fruition, with that thick purple mist, as we say, invented, live and I invented this a while back, sickly sweet with a coppery aftertaste, as that mist begins running through. You heard someone saying they know about Dreadlands. Somebody's asking about Dreadlands. Get the camera over here. Get an interview. You saw basically like a woman on the street reporter with a microphone, a cameraman running, and like a producer with they all have press badges on. They were sort of like moving toward you. But then you felt horror surging as the mists behind began to crumble. That's because another 13 was rolled, because... And we basically said, even though it was a somewhat early night, you know what? Zane's not here. There's a lot happening. Shouldn't this happen on a landmark multiple of 13 episode like 91? The answer is it should. So this is the night where mine also advanced the dread clock. So I'll just
baby,
D13 for every reason I possibly can think to. But with all of that in mind, Felix, I think that is, am I forgetting any key things from our last? I think that's kind of the main, I think that's the main thing. So with that in mind, I'm going to read to you our invocation for chapter 91 of Blood from a Stone. No, the creature before you is only the semblance of a man. In fact, he is the undead, cunning only in the fulfillment of his voracious appetite for flesh.
I wonder who or what?
79 minutes. Okay. So, friends,
Yeah?
the mists begin rolling towards you all. Charlie Racket is like, oh, hey, hello. Ooh, this storm's looking like kind of crazy here. Oh boy. Polly is kind of just cowering as she sees people running at you down the sidewalk. Yes?
How close are we to the movie theater? Sorry, what?
You have just gotten to the edge of town. The movie theater is still a couple blocks down. One thing we forgot. Yes, you guys did pass a bike on fire, and there are loudmouth teens in leather jackets drag racing in the street.
Okay.
So that is happening in the thing. So as you guys are sort of standing there, the mist rolling down, and this sort of the hairs on the back of your neck standing up as you feel some impending thing, sort of Polly cowering, Charlie looking around, these people coming at you, kind of like trying to swing a camera in your direction. I need all 4 of you to please make a luck roll.
Yeah.
Damn you.
I love to have luck.
Oh my god, that was so close. It was less like teetering on the edge, but it's a 9.
A 9.
5.
4. Does Polly have a last name?
Oh, it's a D13.
Oh, yeah.
She really might have. Hold on. I don't remember what it was.
I think she
I
did.
think she does. Hold on. What was your luck,
I just
Sophie?
really want to call her Polly Pocket.
No,
4.
I believe she did actually have a name.
Is Sophie
I'm scared.
a 4?
4?
Is not very good.
Yeah, 4 is not great. Felix?
12.
12.
Oh.
Felix, you have the best of luck.
Yeah, that's what they said when I was in grade school. I had the best luck. Usually I was always in the front of the class.
He was always a lucky broja.
So luck means you're in the front of the class?
Yeah, you get the first lollipops. I always get Friedrich a couple licks of every lollipop I got.
Yeah, it's because we are twins and everything we have is ours to share.
Yeah, we are brothers, twins.
I think this would be very interesting for your therapies to analyze.
We
You
are well
share
adjusted.
everything, no? You share everything.
That means the lowest, so we had 4 from Sophie, 5 from Adina, 9 from Friedrich, and 12 from Felix. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yep.
Sophie,
We.
as the mist begins to close in on all of you, it touches you first. This sort of thick mist just kind of pouring out before any of you can run or sort of do anything. And as it washes over,
Did not ask for my consent.
it certainly did not. Sophie, I need to know,
Oh no.
what are you afraid of?
Oh no.
What is it that Sophie?
Do we have fears in our sheets? No.
No, this is more and you may not have a specific fear, which is totally fine. Not contrary to sort of popular sort of myth, not everyone even has a specific phobia. But I'm sort of asking in case you happen to.
Yeah.
This can be a little more bespoke.
Going
Otherwise,
blind.
Ooh,
I would be afraid of losing my eyesight. It's
couldn't.
very important in film study.
then yeah, you couldn't watch the films anymore. So basically, you guys watch as the mist just thickly permeates the area. And Sophie, would you roll?
Why did I do this to myself?
I want you to roll an endurance. It's under your vitality.
Cool.
The rest of you, though, the mist
Oh,
is,
okay. Very
the
cool.
mist is sort of spreading and it is getting it really is sort of getting into your eyes. It's making it sort of hard to see. All right, Sophie, so you can roll your dice, your d8s. If you wish to spend, you can do so.
I rolled 3 4s.
Did you
Spent to get a 3rd die, and I rolled all 4s.
Wow. All right. So Sophie, you sort of it's stinging in your eyes as this mist sort of like is sort of washing over, and the rest of you it's certainly obscuring vision, but you are able to kind of like just like sort of see some shapes through it, and you can sort of see that the mist has sort of centered on where you are. It is not so bad sort of further into town, although it doesn't seem to be roiling that way. What do you all want to do at this time? You don't have great vision, but you can basically see where you are.
I would like to get away from the people who are running toward us, like the TV crew.
So you can absolutely do that. They are coming to you from town, which is where the mist is less thick. Just understand you're heading into the storm if you do that, which you can certainly do.
So there's no buildings next to us. Like the edge of town means that there's not a building or anything.
You're up against a building, like some shop or something. You could certainly try to break into it. The door seems
I would
closed.
like to try to break into the house.
All right, so as Medina's kind of running over to this like nearest, like it's like you're at the end of like a main street, you know.
Yeah.
So there's like a savings and loan or some kind of building like that.
Mm-hmm.
So as you're sort of rushing to try to get to that, Friedrich, Felix, and Sophie, what are you all doing?
I mean, if I think we should all stick together, yeah, because there's going to be more safety in numbers. So if Medina is moving, we should all be moving too.
Okay. So you're following Medina?
If Felix is coming, yeah.
Of course, I will always follow you, brother.
Danke.
Yeah, and I will have said, like, I don't think we should let the mist get us, because I mean the mist feels.
I mean, there's like an
bad,
overarching
right?
just like as you guys rush to it. All right, so
Okay.
you're rushing to that thing, and kind of you're basically everyone is kind of following Medina as she kind of heads to this building. Okay, I think Polly will follow you, and so is sort of Charlie, maybe half getting up. He's a little more encumbered. The people with the camera, they are also coming to that door as they see you approach it, because that's sort of toward them. So Medina, could you please make a luck roll? Let's see if you have anything on you that could be used to pick a lock. Unless you have a pitch on that, but I doubt you would.
An 11.
An 11. As it happens, you can just kind of like, fishing through your stuff. You've got, you're gonna try a bobby pin, I guess.
Sure.
Make a fine motor skills roll under your coordination, which for you is not a terrible stat. If you want to purchase any dice ahead of time.
Nope, I got 2 5s.
You got 2 5s. Okay.
Yes.
To pick a lock with a bobby pin.
Yes.
So.
That's arithmetic.
Ooh, arithmetic. Well, that's an interesting idea. I think geometry, I might have given it to you on a single match. This is a little hard. So, Medina, your
manipulation is a part of arithmetic.
Manipulation. Okay.
Elements, factors. Well, factors are numbered. Never mind. But elements.
Elements. No, manipulation though. That's a helpful word in there. Okay. I think we'll say that you are just able to sort of get the door closed, but at this point, as there's a moment, it certainly is taking you some sort of time to do it, but we'll say that you are able to kind of just click the lock. But by this time, you are all now bunched up against that door, and there is this woman with a microphone, kind of like accosting all of you. Probably Medina, there's bodies between you and her, so we'll say that she's sort of more turning to Felix and Friedrich and Sophie. And she is sort of suggesting, she's kind of saying, come in here. And then she'll sort of turn and say, breaking news. This is Kate Lightfoot, reporting for WDRD, here from the streets of Paradise. I'm joined by some individuals amidst this dreadstorm, and the camera's like turning back, and she's just kind of going on. And they have been talking about the Dreadlands, those fascinating subject that we here at channel WDRD are fascinated in finding about more. Sir, what do you know about the Dreadlands? And she's just putting a microphone into Friedrich's face.
I don't know a ton, to be honest. It's not really my area of expertise, so I can't say.
At this,
I've heard things, but not a lot.
and why don't you want our viewers to know what things you've heard? And she's kind of pushing the microphone. At this point, Medina, you do get the door open. The mist, however, is sort of pressing in against the door, but now you're almost stuffed up against the door. But you can pull it open if you want.
Okay. Can I push the door open and like grab the nearest comrade?
You can certainly push the door open and maybe pull like Sophie or Polly in. As you're doing so, you guys also hear that Charlie Racket is he's trying to sort of get in behind you guys. But at this point, Medina, as you do this, that mist is just like wiping sort of over all of you, and you can't really see great because there still was kind of this sort of blinding effect. But the door is open. You can enter this store if you want to, or the storefront.
Okay.
If you want to, as you're sort of pulling people in, but they're following you in.
Okay.
With their camera and their stuff, but so the mist is also just like pouring in after all of you, and you're sort of hearing the rain on the roof in here. Medina, as it happens, you have entered a pharmacy.
Okay.
And as you sort of take a couple of steps into the pharmacy, you notice sitting like right kind of in front on like a display as like the mist is like roiling across it. You see a needle with like a little vial, and it's like almost like spread out for almost like it's like an end cap display.
Mm-hmm.
And it basically just says like, leave all your troubles behind.
Mm-hmm.
And as you're sort of entering this room, you're hearing this voice that's been following you since you arrived, and actually since before you arrived, saying, "Really, Medina, you're not going to give it a try?" And you all notice that you all can see now, there's sort of a man standing here. Looks like a young guy, like high school guy. Kind of just like standing next to Medina, and he has a syringe in his hand. And as the mist just pours into this room, now these camera people sort of like shooting in at you. Would anyone like to do anything before things happen?
Is this the kind of pharmacy that would have like is it like a CVS kind of thing where it has like canes and stuff? I mean, I know it's not modern, but
it's a little more old-fashioned than that. But you could probably find a cane somewhere.
I'd like to grab something like something.
You want to find a weapon?
Yeah,
okay.
I'm just gonna.
Felix,
I'm assuming.
Friedrich, Sophie, what are you doing?
I mean, I'm just stammering. If we pass some kind of like ibuprofen or something, I'd like to take that because I am still in some pain.
Okay, understood. You'll maybe just look for medicine. Sophie?
I apologize because my internet actually cut out. What happened with my roll?
What roll?
I didn't hear you when I rolled about my eyes.
Your eyes are stinging, but you can see. Your vision has not been taken away from you, nor has
I
it
can
been
see
the group. Yes.
Okay, that's what I thought.
It's you're
So
all
I'm,
like it's misty. It's lightly obscured in here, but it is not.
But we are in the pharmacy.
Mhm.
Correct.
Can I look for some eye wash?
Okay, so basically look for eye wash. Felix, what are you gonna do?
Felix sees Medina grabbing for something, and so he realizes he has to protect his brother, who's very, very injured.
So you're just sticking with Friedrich, or you're also
but I want to get something to.
So you're sort of heading to where Medina is as she's like going for thing. Medina.
By the way,
Yes.
Medina is assuming that nobody else can see him. She's just
Understood. That's fine. So Medina, as you sort of like are like turning and looking around for things, first give me a luck roll. Let's see what you spot. And actually, Sophie, can you do a luck roll as well to see if eye drops are nearby?
12.
12. Okay, so Medina, as it happens, there are there's like, you know, like some walking stick type things, like on the next end, like right there, totally close by. So you're rushing to those. Felix, you see her going. You're moving over to those as well. Sophie, what did you roll for luck?
An 8.
8. You like, despite your eyes and everything, you think you understand what area to go to. So you're sort of making your way into this, and you hear Kate Lightfoot from the back saying, like, do you all make it a habit of breaking and entering into buildings? She's just like holding the microphone out to the rest of you. But at this point, you guys are kind of moving past. Polly saying, I'm not sure what it is you're holding. I don't know what that is. What's that thing? And she's like, this is a microphone. Where are you from? I'm from Merkshire. Oh, interesting.
Polly, you don't have to answer him.
As you're sort of reaching and sort of saying that back to Polly, you've pulled out a thing, but at this point, Medina, you have a weapon. Go ahead and make. I think I'm gonna have you make a dodge roll.
Okay.
You're not fully in the sort of fight part of this yet.
Come on, baby.
You're pretty good at this, though. This is stuff you're not.
I got 2 4s.
Okay, 2 4s.
Yeah, so it's
music and not so. Okay, so basically, you're like pulling, you're like kind of like rushing to like grab this, and you get a hold on it, but like before you haven't even like pulled it up, like you've got it, it's there, like you have a weapon, and Felix is on your back, but this guy from behind, he's like grabbing at you, and sort of like you're getting out of the way. He doesn't have a hold on you. He doesn't have you wrapped up. You still have movement, but he does just like plug you with this syringe, which the rest of you do see, and as he like presses it in, he says, maybe you'll like it half as much as I do. Medina, could you make a resist? It doesn't matter. Just roll a vitality. Honestly, they're all the same for you. Kind of just resist disease, resist injury. It's kind of the same at this point for both of those.
Oh God. Okay, I'm gonna have to buy some. I'm gonna spend 2 to get another die.
Okay, so you'll have 3. Go for it.
What? So I could see that, even though I'm like,
you know what?
No matches.
No matches. Okay, so basically, Medina, it's just like the world begins sort of like spinning. Sophie, I will say that because of the eye stuff and the fact that you've kind of gone off to find something else, you hear a scuffle, you maybe hear a cry, but you don't see anything. Also, like the mist is just pouring into this room. So Medina, as you sort of are drugged, basically, which in many ways goes to a fear of yours. As like you know, it's you are not being like properly dosed with this narcotic, so it's not like you're not just like totally sort of getting like the full on rush, as if you'd like tied off your arm and were like, you know, et cetera, but
well, she doesn't know.
Yeah, but there's but there's like you're definitely feeling an effect. There's like a right, it's probably going to affect you here in a moment doing other things. Friedrich, as you are moving to find some like just like normal pain pills, these are relatively easy to find. That's easy to do. Just because of numerically speaking, what would Friedrich's fears be, do you think?
I think it would be like paralysis, or like
Cool.
you know like what is it, you know, when you are kind of sleeping but you are aware of it, like
Oh, it's an
paralysis.
amazing one. I love that. Yeah, give me an endurance roll. Actually, everybody give me an endurance roll. That's a great one to do to everybody. Yeah, I love that.
Oh God.
Oh, well, what's fun about that,
No.
Friedrich, is, as Dan, as you well know, the traditional mists of Ravenloft, like that is what they do. They just like, they exhaust you.
I'm gonna be honest, I did not know that was part of it. That's no matches.
Okay.
No matches.
No matches.
this
No
is
matches.
an endurance roll
Endurance.
under
Just,
vitality. Wait, I haven't rolled yet.
okay.
I'm probably not going to get anything.
Are you going to?
No matches.
No matches. Okay, so basically,
No, I didn't spend
all
that.
of you, the mist kind of, in this case, like, you all sort of cough. Now, Medina, the world is completely spinning, so you've grabbed like a thing out, and as you're like pulling back to do it, you just feel, you like watch as like the distance between your hand and this object, like you could just see, you know, as your pupils are dilating, because you're also drugged as this is happening, but like you see your hand just relax as it's kind of falling out, and you sort of fall to the floor. All of you do stumble to the ground to one degree or another as this sort of like enervating paralytic sort of mist rolls in across you all. I'm gonna make. Actually, no. I'll have you guys do it. Who would like to roll for Charlie Racket? Dan, give me a luck roll for Charlie.
13, baby, let's go.
Oh shit!
Give it again, and we're off to the races.
3.
That's a bad luck. I don't. What do you? I don't know. I'll tell you what, because Charlie Racket is not someone that you guys care about. With a 13, because this is really your luck, not his luck. I'm gonna say with a 13, that tends to be sort of bad luck, but can be neutral. I'll say that Charlie Racket like sees you all going down. He does not, but he is just like grabbing valuables, like sneaking through, like he is not helping anyone in here. But who would like to do what I assume is a much more important role for one Miss Polly? Who would like to roll to see how Polly does with the paralysis? All right.
I'm scared.
I will.
If you'd like to buy yourself advantage on this roll, where you get to roll twice, I will increase this by a. You know what? We're rolling d8s. You can roll a d8 and we'll increase it by that much, and then Polly, you get to roll twice and pick the better one for Polly. But if the better one's a 13, you have to take it. That's the caveat. It's the highest number regardless.
So if I roll a 13, I have to take it. If I spend a d8, I can pick the better of the two d13 rolls, but then the clock advances however many I roll on the d.
Right, you are either going to roll one d13 and see what happens. If it's low, Polly's down. If it's high, Polly's okay. If it's a 13, who knows? Or you can roll a d8. I will advance this by whatever you roll on a d8, and then you get to roll two d13s, but you have to use the higher even if it's a 13.
Okay, that's what I was saying.
Oh, okay, gotcha, sure. Just wanted to do the order of operations. So which would you like to
I did it. I set it up differently. Okay, listen, we know Dan wants the clock to move.
No, but
just Polly. She can lie.
Normally, I would say doing whatever I don't want to spite me is a valid course of action. But don't you want Polly to have a better chance? I would say you gotta do it for Polly.
I want my Polly pocket.
All right.
Fine, fuck it. I'm gonna roll 2.
Roll a d8.
All right, here we go.
An 8 would be so funny right now, guys.
5.
Yeah, that's good.
And we're up. Okay. Oh wait, sorry.
That was the minute hand, baby. We got a long way to go. Oh yeah. Fuck yeah.
All right. Okay, and now roll 2 d13s and use the higher number.
Okay, an 8 and a 3, so I get the 8.
I think an 8 is much better than a 3. An 8 is a... So basically, Polly seems... Well, you guys don't even know, but sort of Polly, like, is, like, breathing this in and kind of, like, I'm feeling tired. And sort of, but, like, she's kind of, like, in the door, you can sort of hear a scuffle, and, noticing you all going down, the woman with the microphone is sort of saying, like... This DREADSTORM is causing all sorts of trouble. Well, let's talk to this young woman from Berkshire, Sue. You are pretty far from home now, aren't you? And sort of you can hear their voices and like probably like slightly coughing from like the doorway, but it also seems that maybe they're like in the door. It's hard to tell exactly where they are. It seems like maybe Polly has sort of stepped out of this place. At this point, so I think you guys are beginning to understand what a DREADSTORM is now. A DREADSTORM is a sort of confluence of the pure, unadulterated mist coming in and making everyone afraid. Felix, what are you afraid of?
The thing that makes me the most afraid in this world is existential isolation, being alone for eternity. It's terrible.
Oh no.
Great.
No.
So basically, as you guys are all like laying there, please roll a d13 for me.
3.
Okay. You all hear some footsteps. But in this exact moment, none of you can turn your heads to even see what's going on. You hear this voice. Might be vaguely familiar, but I'll keep it somewhat mysterious. You hear like the scratching of like a pen on paper. And a voice says, "Separate them, I think. Yes, separate them." And you all feel kind of like footsteps moving and hands being placed on your sort of bodies and shoulders, and you're sort of moving. You can feel it completely. Like if someone were to cause you pain, you would feel it, but you couldn't even scream. You can't move. And you begin to see these figures looking down on you. They look like human beings. They're wearing sort of very simple clothing. You're not sure if they're from Paradise or a time earlier. One of you glances, we'll say it's Felix, just as this is happening. You glance this kind of like gentleman with like glasses. He's holding like a little notebook, and he seems, the people who are grabbing you, they're like, they have like, you know, like they've got like scarves, like balaclavas or scarves, like over, trying to not to breathe in the mist. But like you can see their eyes watering. They're all sort of moving a little. This man seems completely unaffected by the mist. This with his sort of, and Felix, you even hear him as he kind of like looks up over at the door. You can't turn your head to see, but he listens for a moment, and as that reporter is talking to Polly, and just goes, "Such shoddy journalism." Medina, you see a figure sort of standing over you, and then the figure turns back and says, "Excuse me, sir." "Oh, yes. Oh, hello, young man. Oh, you're a conjuration of some sort, aren't you?" "Yes, sir, but, do you mind if I get this one?" And Medina, you see Jason sort of like looming over you, looking down, his sort of sunken eyes. And the journalist replies, "Oh yes, that sounds perfectly fascinating." Sophie, Felix, and Friedrich, you're sort of carried back into the darkness. The mist is now roiling over you, and you all lose consciousness. But Medina, there's a man sort of standing over you. And he says, "Feels pretty good, doesn't it?"
Am I able to respond?
You can like get out like a word or two if you wanted.
So she'll say, "You're not real."
What? I can't hear you.
Not real.
But I was
You're
real.
dead.
And why am I dead? Why
Your
am I
choice.
dead?
It was your choice.
He leans down on you, and
Oh, God.
his knee just starts pushing onto your sternum as he's kneeling on top of you and saying, "But you left me there." He reaches up to the display and takes another syringe. "You might as well get to have all the fun I had, right?" He pulls out a handy sort of strip of rubber tubing and starts wrapping it around your arm. It's really tight. You can feel it.
And she can't physically do anything.
Well, make an endurance roll at this point. Because it's
Oh,
not a forever
God.
thing, but for here it's rough.
Is it just 2 for me? Okay, I'm gonna buy another one.
Okay.
So she's looking rough. That is 2 7s though.
2 7s, okay.
Yes.
7 being... Okay. I'll tell you what, with patterns and repetition, that element of astronomy, I'm going to say that if you want to, you can attempt, like as you feel like the ebb and flow of what's going on, you can attempt like a move, kind of like right at the right time. You'll have to tell me what it is. You might be receiving a penalty on it, where you're going to lose a die, but you can attempt something for sure.
So she heard that he was a conjuration, right?
He did appear to be... that was what you heard, he's a conjuration, correct?
But she doesn't know what that is. I don't either.
I mean...
Can
look
she...
at her. Yeah, you don't have anything that will...
Yeah. Can she just try to like grab his face and like look into his eyes to see if it's like just to make her see that he's not real. Like she wants to...
You're trying to grab him to the point like your hand goes through him. Okay.
Not through him, but like to look into his eyes.
Understood.
And,
understood.
Like,
yeah, I think you could do... I would let you try an unarmed combat for that.
Okay.
Given what you're doing and given his positioning, I won't charge you a penalty on that.
Okay.
But the difficulty might be intense. And everybody else will get to your personal private hells in a moment, don't you worry.
Okay. Damn it, no matches.
No matches. So Medina, you try to like grab up for him, and he stops what he's doing over there, but he catches your wrist, and he kind of just like looks at you, and it's that way like that Jason, like the way he'd always kind of look at people, kind of this sort of like condescending way, and then he'd say, "What's wrong? Don't I look right to you? Or would you recognize me more?" And then all the color leaves his face, and like the color of his eyes even becomes sort of milky, and he starts like this froth starts coming out of his mouth as he's and like the color and the warmth drain, and he falls down dead right on top of you, and you can't move or struggle. He's just there, this corpse, like your eyes focusing, you can just see the cold, clammy body.
I'll roll for panic attack. No, I'm kidding.
No. Actually, make a resist. No. Actually, make a resist fear. That's good. That's under your will. Great idea. I should have been doing those earlier. So sorry.
God damn it. Okay, where is it?
It's under will. It's the last one.
Whatever. Bye, Medina. Nope. No matches. She's very afraid.
Medina, in your mind, you scream, but outside, no one hears anything. Just although for a moment the camera's kind of like going back up there, and you hear, yes, the drug epidemic here in Paradise apparently really is something. Parents, do you know where your children are? For WDRD, this is Kate Lightfoot on the scene. With that, Medina, as you're screaming in silence with that on top of you. This one's really dark, by the way, today, guys. So just in case that wasn't clear, welcome to bad stuff. We put a thing on this game in general, but this one's pretty rough. So Friedrich, Felix, Sophie, would all of you please give me an endurance, unless either resist disease or resist injury happens to be higher for any of you. I don't think it will be. But if any of you would like to do, then just give me your sort of basic vitality or resist vitality rolls.
Kind matches.
So more than likely, none of you will match because I think you're all just 2 in it. But this is just in case anyone matches. We'll sort of go to that first. Okay.
I spent power.
You spent power. How much power did you
Okay,
spend?
I got
Another
I spent
2?
power.
Okay.
I spend 2, right? It's 2 per die.
It's 2 to get an
Yeah,
extra.
so I just got an extra die. So I got 2 7s.
2
I
7s.
got
So basically,
2 7s and a 5.
So Sophie, you kind of like begin to blink yourself awake, and you can feel you have you can feel some feeling in your fingertips. Okay. You feel that you are lying on wet pavement. You can feel the rain like on your face. And there's a sort of person kind of like hovering over you. You hear talking to someone. You if you want to sit up, you can, but you might alert them to the fact that you're awake. But you think maybe you can move in a moment here. Some movement in conscience is coming too. But you hear somebody saying, "But what is it? What is it? What does it say? What does it say? We're supposed." I can't handle it. Oh, it's impossible to breathe in this. The guy's like, just stop taking your mask down. Just. I'm trying to see. It's got my eyes are watering. Oh, her eyes. We need to take her eyes. The guy's like, oh, that's disgusting. He's like, do you want into this or not? You know I do. You know I want to be a part of this. All right, well, you got a knife? I don't get a knife. You got anything to gouge him, or you need a spoon? Should we scoop him? I don't know how you do this. He's like, listen, if you want to be a part of this, you gotta be ready for shit like this, man. You hear them like rustling through stuff. At this point, Sophie, you can realize that you're like in an alley in paradise somewhere. They're going through various tracks over there.
It's like being drunk in Paris.
So what would you like to do?
What? Okay, so I have feeling in my fingers, but I cannot sit up.
You could attempt to sit up. I guess it's kind of like you can like you think you might even be able to sit up. I mean, this is like it's rough here,
But if I cannot sit up, I cannot run away.
You could certainly attempt to make a move roll. I would definitely suggest spending some dice since you'd be doing it from like cold. But if you wanted to just kind of try to rush away from these guys, you definitely could try, and you could summon some power to give yourself more.
Can I reach Friedrich or Felix?
I'll say that you have enough movement, and they're over there, and your look is pretty high, despite the absolute stinging in your eyes of the mist. You're able to just force yourself in. Actually, make a look roll.
Yes.
Let's do it like that. Make a look roll. You're pretty good at look still.
Okay.
I think you have your four dice for that.
Is under
It's under vitality.
Oh, I have 5.
There you go. Yeah,
Five.
you can see stuff on the screen. That's her whole thing. And Friedrichs and Felix, don't
Our
worry.
whole thing.
We'll get to you guys. Don't you worry.
What did we say happens if you roll a straight?
A straight, unfortunately, I don't think we decided for this game that a straight is anything. You can spend power to just re-roll the whole thing. You can spend 3 to just re-roll the whole 5 if you did not get a single match of 5.
I thought we did talk about a straight, though.
I thought we did.
What is the straight? Is it literally all 5 are a straight?
No, it's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then what?
No, I got 5.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
That's a
Yeah,
5
okay.
number. Yeah, it's a straight.
Yeah, what did we say a straight was? I can't remember.
Dan,
I
you rolled
don't.
it.
I don't remember because I'm playing 2 of these games right now, and I don't remember which talk about dice rolls is for which game.
Yeah, especially when they're super similar but slightly different. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
What happens when we run out of power?
Oh, you know what? Roll when you roll out of power, I mean, you can function. It's just like power is also how you'll resist injuries.
You're just raw dogging it.
Tell you what, I will let you re-roll for 1 power with a straight. I feel like that was something like that. You could re-roll.
Okay, that's worth it.
You could re-roll without the full expenditure. So charge yourself 1 more power and just re-roll.
Okay, that's
re-roll your 6. Yeah.
Alright.
Re-roll your 5. Rather.
5, not 6.
Yeah.
Okay, I got 3 2s this time.
3 2s. Okay, so you can tell, kind of like peeking up, looking there, over there. You can tell that like sort of like the direction that your head is in. So you'd want to sort of like scramble back, not scramble forward. The end of the alley is that way. Sort of deeper in is just kind of like a dead end where you can get out. You do not feel Felix and Friedrich don't seem to be anywhere near you. They're not here in this alley. They've been taken elsewhere.
And the alley is
So basically,
the end is
you're like your head is maybe like 15, 20 feet from the street where it's still raining like crazy, and you hear like the roaring of engines, and you also hear a lot of screams.
Can I tell where the men who want to take
The
my
men
eyes
they're deeper into the alley, looking through like piles of trash and junk to try to find something good to scoop your eyes out with.
Can I see if there's anything I can use to fight back?
Make a luck roll. You certainly would have seen it with your 3 2s.
Oh, it's just one. Alright,
Just
it's
your
just a straight
D13.
D13, I forgot.
Yeah.
Rolled a 9.
9. There's like a little like jagged piece of like a broken splinter of wood from someone who's throwing a bed frame or something back here. There's a thing you could grab. Whether or not you think that you are if you think you're a fighter or not, that's up to you instead. But there's a weapon you could defend yourself with. But they seem to be arguing now. It seems like they now have candidates for things to remove your eyes. They're arguing about which one will be most effective.
Can I try to silently crawl away?
Ooh, yes, absolutely. So if you would like to do a sneak, you can absolutely do that. That is a coordination. Oh, so that's actually better for you than a run. Sneak is 3 dice. You will probably want a good result in this, so I might advise spending a little bit on some power to add.
I'll go ahead and buy myself the 4th die. Let's try that.
Okay. And don't forget the 1 you spent to re-roll your last ones, too.
Oh, yeah, thank you. I thought it saved. I'm spending so many.
Yeah, you have to. When the DREADSTORM happens.
Ooh! I swear to God, 2 6s, 2 1s. I don't even know what that is.
2
Is that
6s,
good?
2 1s. Which one would you like to use for sneaking? And I will say there's a right answer here.
I mean, I would assume 6 is the right answer.
6 is the right answer because it's all about space, angles, distance,
Space and
relativity
and
measures. It's kind of like
Yeah.
perspective, them not seeing you, you kind of moving to where they can't see you, all that. So Sophie, you begin just like crawling, and it's that like kind of like as like the blood and like the feelings coming back, whatever this magical paralysis is going. You're crawling, and it's like it's storming and such, and you manage with 2. You manage to basically get like towards the edge of the alley, and you're basically like pulling yourself up, looking back when they notice and start chasing after you. And that's where we'll leave Sophie. Felix versus Friedrich. Guys, roll a. I'm just chasing them. So roll Lux for me, Felix and Friedrich.
Yeah, there's nothing I'd rather like to do. That's a 1.
A 1, perfect. So Friedrich, your luck is worse, which means you'll go first. Felix, we'll hold off on you. So Friedrich, you begin to sort of come to. You're much groggier than Sophie was in her time, but you sort of open your eyes, and you can hear some voices also talking behind you. You hear someone saying, "Now, the most important thing is to understand what their fears are. That's the new way of the mist. And hey, stop. I know it's hard, but just breathe through it." You hear people coughing, like wheezing. He says, "Never mind, it's fine. Never mind. I'll do this myself. He sort of walks over to you. And, oh, he's waking up. Can you move yet?
I try to move my hand.
You can maybe move. You could say like a word. You could rasp out a word if you wanted to.
Help.
Help. He pulls out his like moleskin and just. I've looked at your student ID. Your name is Friedrich Ducat, is that correct?
Felix.
You're Felix? Oh, you're
Well-
asking about the other one.
Felix.
Your brother. Well, you're never going to see him again, nor is anyone. He is going to be isolated for the rest of time. Because that's what he's afraid of. But who you're afraid of, and he kind of goes over, and you actually think you might like be in the back of the pharmacy, you're not sure. But he like opens the door, and some of the mist is kind of coming in. It's hard for you to sort of see. And he's like, you ever like run your hand through like the smoke from dry ice?
All the time, baby.
He's like wafting it sort of up, and like you see this like thick fog. It's not like spreading up your body, but it does almost as you're like looking down at it. It seems to have a mind of its own. Anybody ever seen like What Lies Beneath? Remember the bathtub scene in that where it's like just like you can't move? Yeah. Anyway, so it's like there's this like this mist just like rolling up your body, sort of to your face, and he says, "It seems that you're afraid of being conscious and unable to move. Is that correct?"
I don't respond.
I'm sorry, friend. If you're not going to cooperate, I have little reason to prolong this conversation. We'll just get on with it. If you breathe in enough of this, you see the condition will be permanent. You hear the guy is like behind, like coughing, and you hear somebody like, what? Did he say permanent? This is crazy. Like, no, we want to be here. We gotta try this.
Why?
Why what?
Why?
Oh. For the dread of it, of course. Friedrich, at this point, you begin to hear something. And as the fog is like coming up towards sort of your mouth, as you're kind of like probably avoiding trying to breathe it in, you hear this like and the guy looks up, kind of surprised himself. And you hear two voices saying, like, is she just wearing a bikini? And then suddenly, Friedrich, you hear a lot of slamming and crashing sounds. You hear that man with the accent sort of saying, wait, you're not affected. Are you another of us? Are you? And she says, I'm all woman. That's who I am. And after a few more moments, Friedrich, you hear like footsteps scuffling and sounds of people like moving away or running away, and then you see looking over you, straight out of a beer commercial, like the light just like somehow the light from overhead is bouncing off something on the floor, and just its highlights on her boobs is the Voluptua Bikini Team dancer looking down at you. Oh my god. You're breathing this in. I think I've got to give you mouth to mouth. And then she basically she leans down and she starts honking her own boobs as a means of like expelling air into you. It's a very silly kind of thing, especially given how intense this all was.
Is she a blow up doll?
No, it's more that she's just doing it for the show. But Friedrich, after a
She
moment,
aspires to be.
yeah, she basically aspires to be. Friedrich, after a few moments, you're able to like sit up, and she's there. You notice there's one guy is like knocked out on the ground by the door. You don't see the man who was talking to you. You don't see anybody else.
Mhm. Like I'm feeling better, or like how like.
You're not feeling great, but you can move.
Thank you. We need to find my brother.
She'll go. Understood. She'll just like start like pulling you up and being like, "Aren't you glad I came along?
Yes, thank you so much.
Never leave your character too far behind. That's what I have to say." And she starts like pulling you along. But then she stops and says, "But remember," she looks you like right in the eyes, these like piercing eyes. "You owe me now." But the two of you will seek out Felix. Felix,
Yeah.
your eyes open. You're in darkness.
Hello?
There's no
Hello?
response. Make an endurance roll.
Not going to be good. No match.
You can't move. But when you're this alone, what does movement even matter? Who would you be moving to see?
The voice in my head has a good point.
Felix.
Hello?
Felix, I want you to go to your will. I want you to roll a resist fear. Actually, you're not bad at this. As an artiste.
I mean, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, but that's about it.
1, 2, 3, 4. I will allow you to re-roll for only 1 power, if you'd like. Because apparently that's how we're doing it.
So just re-roll one of my.
No, you
Die
can
or
re-roll.
add.
You can spend 1 power and re-roll all 4 dice.
Oh, okay. I'll do that. Yes.
We'll just come up with a new rule for straights every time they come up.
That's what it's been this whole game. That's what we're landing on. And the next time it happens, hopefully I remember.
I got a pair of 8s. Philosophy.
Ooh, 8 is actually the best thing for sort of like fear and knowledge and secrets. Felix, this is really scary. You're alone. You were thinking about being alone. You could feel like your fear being tested. You could feel the thing you dreaded the most. But with your sort of like poet's mind, you do have a realization. Okay, this is like a good representation of like existential isolation, but like you're clearly like in a box or something, so it's not like as scary as this is, you are not like driven by terror in this instant. You still can't move, you're still trapped. But you do have a sort of sense that you're not completely alone. You could probably like say a word, or you could maybe tingle your fingers, but you are still you're pretty sort of trapped right now. You're not sure how far away things are. I guess if you wanted to, actually, why don't you make a listen roll? I don't think it's a super thing of yours, but just give yourself a free echolocation. Just try one and see if you wind up hearing,
Nothing.
Yeah, you can't like, if you like breathe, you can't hear that like your like a lid's near you or something. It's black. You don't know. Is there anything you'd like to try? I know it's pretty limited given this, but if there are any rolls you want to make, you certainly could make them. If there's anything you wanted to attempt.
Felix would like to just do some good diaphragmatic breathing to help him relax even further. He knows it's going to help. He has come to the realization that with existence comes isolation, of course, and he may not have much freedom, but in that he does have some responsibility over his psyche, and he has a choice here. He can either accept what's happening right now, or he can be afraid. And he will accept. But he truly misses his brother.
Oh. Schade. Okay. Medina.
Got it.
As Felix languishes in the dark, wishing his brother could find him.
Mm-hmm.
Medina Lake. The body is on top of you. And then you hear, you can like feel the jaw moving as like the corpse is speaking and saying, you get used to just lying totally still and dead. You might even like it. Nah, you won't like it. You're too busy running off. You're too busy thinking you're too good. Too good for everyone. It peels up you. There's like strands of like the foam are coming off of his face into your face. As he just kind of like he's like on top of you and kind of looking down and saying, but if I'm being really fair about this, I should at least take you out like I died, in just waves of pleasure. The sweet release. He starts affixing the rubber pipe, the rubber tube to your arm once again. At this point, Medina, you hear a voice say, oh, well, I was maybe going to let this go on, but I wouldn't want her experiencing any pleasure. No, none at all. And then you hear thwack, and like the corpse like, ugh! And thwack, and you are sprayed with this like these like bodily fluids, like black and thick and dying, as just over the top of him, Wednesday Line is just hacking him with a meat cleaver.
And she can't move, right? She just
still can't move. And he sort of grows sort of still, and then she raises up and then brings it down, at which point the body disappears. And would you roll a luck roll for me?
Oh, fuck you.
Yeah, baby.
What do we got? Was that a 13?
Yeah, it's a 13.
Give me another one.
No.
God damn it.
That's 7.
That's a 7.
Oh, 13 is bad luck. Medina, you're there, and she, like, the body's on top of you, and like feel this, and then the body's like off of you, and you see this meat cleaver just like rushing down towards you, and Wednesday like pulls back a little in surprise, but she is gonna get you with your bad luck. You must spend 4 power.
Do I okay, I will. I have to.
And with that 4 power, basically, you because power represents, it's not even necessarily like damage you're taking. It's like the bad luck is like she's going to like absolutely do it, but you do manage to just kind of like roll out of the way as the cleaver like digs into the floor. And Wednesday just says, "Oh, where did he go, miss? That could have been very messy." You are covered in like rotting blood and you know like putrefied fluid and stuff. A body that had been there a while. She just, and so is her knife. He did a bit of a disappearing act, didn't he, miss?
Yeah. Does that happen? Can I check do I have like needle marks where he
like there was a needle mark again? He didn't get it into a you just felt like a weird rush from it.
So
okay. It's like if somebody just like stabs you in the chest with heroin, like it's gonna like mess you up, but it's not like.
Well, no, but like I'm wondering if it was real.
Oh
like,
no, it's real. Oh no, you're still covered in blood, and Wednesday clearly saw this guy, but he's disappeared now.
I'm gonna choose to believe that you weren't trying to kill me at the end.
Well, you should choose to believe whatever you want to believe, miss.
And I can move now, or
Yeah, you could. You're. It's hard, but you can. It's ginger, but yeah, you can.
okay. Where is everyone?
Oh, probably all dead by now, miss.
No, well, you saved me. They could have been saved, right?
Well, perhaps
We have to find them.
perhaps Friedrich would have been saved, miss, as that very slatternly dancer is with him. But the others were all alone. She just takes a little rag off the thing and just starts cleaning her knife. Lucky for you, I was here, miss.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Yeah, what do you want to do?
I get a rag with any kind of cleaner and alcohol or hydrogen peroxide or anything.
Understood. You can certainly do that. Sophie, we're gonna cut to you. You're at the edge of the thing. There is no ghoul to protect you, although the ghoul would just as likely to start eating you if you're paralyzed, eating your sweet living flesh.
I do not think there was any right answer with the ghoul. With the ghoul.
The ghoul's a tough one, guys. But Sophie, these men are rushing towards you. You are very wobbly on your feet. You're at the edge of an alley. What do you want to do?
So there are people.
There are some people
What
in
is
the
in front?
distance, but you can see as the rains are sort of pouring down. For the most part, it's people screaming in terror in the distance. You do, however, with your pretty good eyes, you do notice that the street, you seem to be on the alley that was next to that very pharmacy you guys went in, so you can see the pharmacy door down there, but these guys are rushing right in at you from behind. Unless you're going to stand and fight, I think I'm going to need you to make a move roll.
Yes, move. I guess toward this store.
Back to the store?
Yes.
Absolutely. So make a move roll. For you to do a move roll, you may want to spend some power to get an extra one.
Yes, move is under physicality.
It is under physicality,
Yes,
unfortunately.
yes, I will spend 2 to get 1 more die.
Okay.
I'm running low. Power.
Ooh, actually, have you rolled yet?
Oh,
Have you hit?
No.
Okay, you haven't rolled yet.
no, I just pulled up.
I will offer you, same deal.
Yes.
Oh, a D8 might be too much here. You know what? I'll do it. That's fun. If we can just, if the storm will just continue like crazy. I will offer you the same deal for knowledge of what will work and what will get you out of this situation. Or you just roll
When
it.
you say knowledge, you mean what roll?
I will
no,
tell
you mean
you
what I
what
need to
I
roll
will
or
tell
which
you
number?
what you need to get to that door before these guys catch you.
I am sorry, everyone. I must. Yes.
Roll a D8,
Roll a d8.
and I'd roll less than 6.
5.
You rolled 5?
Roll a
Yeah.
5. Literally, roll the 1 under. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Great.
I would share my screen with you so you can do rolls as I do them if I could.
Deal with live. Unfortunately, on this, the sharing screen really, on the Zoom window,
Yes,
the
no,
sharing
but
screen ruins
I'm-
everything.
I'm-
All right, so
not
here is
almost-
what you need to get to that door. So before you spend your power, you could take that power back if you wanted to. You would require
Okay.
a second degree match of any kind, or a first degree match in geometry, which is again about space, relative distance, all that good stuff. You can, for the record,
either
purchase
3 of the same.
You can
or 2
purchase,
success.
you can predetermine a die for 2. So you can basically, I'm just, for those of you who don't play this game all the time, and people don't do this too much, this doesn't come up, so basically, you could spend 2 and set that die, set one of your die ahead of time to geometry, to a 6. So you're guaranteed to make it, and then you just roll the other one, and whatever it is, who cares, because you have at least 1 first degree success, because you can guarantee it. Or you can just roll 2 dice, or you can spend 2 and roll 3 dice and hope that there's at least 1 match or at least 1 6. But having made you pay a high cost.
Wait,
yeah.
I'm confused.
So one of your options in this game, if you look at the 3rd feature under,
I only have to roll 1 6, or I have to.
If you get, so basically what you just bought is the information that you either need any 2nd degree success or a 1st degree success with a 6. So as long as you have literally 1 6, which you can predetermine for the same cost as buying an extra die, that will be a success.
Okay, that's what I was confused, because I didn't realize we could get a solitary die and it would count as a success.
Yes, that's what that told you, is sometimes one of a specific number will be a success for you. And in this case,
We'll get you somewhere. Okay, so then I'll spend the 2 to set a 6.
Spend the
That
2
makes
to
way
set a
more
6.
sense.
You can roll your other D8 just to see what it is. But with a 6, you are, with your geometry, you're just like rushing like so quickly, down the door, spending 2 of your power. So basically, you and Medina are like messed up at this point. You're physically banged up, but it's more that you're just exhausted. You just don't have any more reservoir to draw from. You don't have like a well to go to. You're sort of too out of, nothing left in the tank. But Sophie, with that, you manage to sort of like make it over to that door, which you see is open. You can also see, I think you're sort of running so much. If you decide to make a look in a moment, you can maybe see, but like you certainly see there's like plenty of action out in the street, but it is all obscured just by like the driving rain. And given various cool deals and things, it's just the rain has not let up at all. Like you guys are in the midst of like a dread superstorm, basically. So Sophie, you
My other die was a 3.
There you go. So you then good job on pre-selecting, which again is the thing you guys can do sometimes. It's also sometimes you might want to pre-select if you're like rolling a bunch of dice, but you're looking for one particular thing. So it's like a way.
I forgot that we could do.
It's a less common thing in the system, but I try to bring it up sometimes. So you make it to the door.
Can I do a look roll? You said I could do look.
Sure,
Should
do
I
a look roll. You'll need maybe like 1 extra degree of success on it for it because of how everything else is going on. But yeah, go for it.
Is my favorite roll because I do so well.
Well, you have so many, yeah.
I get 5. Yeah,
5,
for look.
yeah, 5.
2 6s and 2 2s. 2 6s, 2 2s.
Honestly, with 2 6s, 2 2s, that we'll just keep those 6s will just be also like your geography, but that'll kind of be like I'm gonna add that onto the move that you just did because you're also like you're picking the best possible like path to like throw these guys off your trail and kind of zigging a little before going back to the thing. But as you sort of look around, you do notice that like towards the edge, you see that like Polly is going with those reporters. Polly's like with that like reporter lady, and they're like a bit of the way down the road, and you think you maybe see like a van with like a little satellite dish thing on top of it. You're not completely sure, but like she's over there with them, and you don't really hear her, but in the distance, but like she's kind of like huddled against the storm, and like they're sort of moving there over that way.
Do I have reason to think the reporter is bad? Because I do not know.
There was a lot going on, but the other thing you have a 5 in is detect vibe. So I will let you make a detect vibe roll with your 5 dice on those reporters.
And do this and to get rid of this first roll. I 1 4 6 7 8 is not good.
1 4 6 7 8. Unfortunately, you just don't have a sense of them. You weren't paying much attention to them And they, like, you were too busy, like, the storm and everything in Medina trying to get you guys in, and then moments later, you were looking for eye wash and then just laying on the ground. So, yeah, you do not have a real,
probably fine.
sense of them.
He's probably fine. I do not know.
And also, as much as you all love Polly,
They're-
you all don't love Polly. Yeah.
No. She's fine. They are reporters do not kill people. It's not something they do. It's good.
You guys know the song, God, the like the Eagles song "Dirty Laundry." That's all I'm thinking of. Kick them when they're up, kick them when they're down. But also, you guys, we are not going to be able to wait for Polly's screen test to be on-air talent. Anywho, Sophie, as you're sort of rushing sort of over in this direction, you're making it to the door. These guys are on you, but inside you see like Medina is like wiping herself off. Like Wednesday is there with a cleaver that's very bloody, but Wednesday sort of like turns back to you and kind of is raising it and says, "Oh, miss, it's one of your friends and classmates."
The men are chasing. They want my ice.
Oh, do
My
they?
ice. I cannot lose. They want.
Oh, that's delightful. And sort of as you're sort of like stumbling in, Wednesday's just like passing out into the rain beyond you, and you hear these guys like coughing, and she goes, "Was someone looking for eyes? That sounds like a delightful idea. Hello, sirs." And outside you hear screaming and slashing and the sounds of blood and knives.
I think I almost called her Medina. I think Wednesday's taking care of them.
Is she making a snuff film? Like, what is this? What is happening?
I mean, if you think about it, this whole thing is a snuff film. Where are the twins?
On that note,
No, I thought they.
Friedrich,
Yeah.
I think you guys might all survive this, although there may be a dark twist at the end here with Felix. Friedrich, there is a roll you're going to make. It is under intelligence, which is probably not the worst you have. And it is called track.
Yeah.
I know that analyze or calculate would be good. And in fact, I'll tell you what. I actually don't know the math on this. I will let you do a track, which will need a certain degree of success to succeed, or you can do an analyze, which will need 1 degree higher. You get 2 extra dice. Mathematically, I don't know which one.
Yeah, I don't know. I do think we should figure out the calculations behind this. And this is something that if Friedrich had some downtime, he could probably do.
He would just roll the calculate because he also has 5 on those. Yeah. So
yeah,
basically,
he knows the numbers.
Do you want to do analyze and need a higher need? Do you want to try to get more matches in 6 or fewer matches in 4? I don't know which one's better.
Do I know if I Do I know if I need how many matches I would need for each?
Because it would guarantee the storm, perhaps we won't do this. Tell you what, Friedrich. Luck.
Yeah, let's do it.
Meanwhile, Felix is all alone in the dark.
2, I don't know.
You're just not sure. You're not
Okay.
sure. You're clearly more comfortable trying to analyze the scene rather than like doing some like detective.
Yeah, I mean, I
skills.
do think this is like analyzing the scene is something that would I have more dice in it. It means I'm more comfortable with it, and this is a stressful time, so I want to stick with what I know.
Very good.
So I will roll the
6.
6 dice. Oh boy. I would spend.
But he's gonna spend 3 to reroll or 5 to change something to something.
I'm going to spend 5 to change. Well, actually, what? Yeah, I am going to spend 5 to change one of my dice to a 5, so I have 3 5s.
3 5s.
Yeah.
3 5. Okay.
Yeah.
And this is evaluation and iteration, which is a
Yeah.
great thing for this thing. So basically, Friedrich, you sort of like realize like you were in this back room, you saw where they were rushing off as you're sort of following out. Perhaps this is much better for you to do because you're analyzing the situation rather than trying to track people in the rain, a notoriously difficult thing. But Friedrich, as you sort of rush out towards the back, you do sort of kind of like you can see the trajectory that those guys probably ran out. Like the voluptua bikini team dancer, she's just kind of like dancing along sort of behind you, ready to fuck up some more people with the power of her hips, just body roll to death. But as you guys are sort of like, as you're sort of going out with 3 5s, you actually notice something that seems almost impossible.
What could, I mean, there are a lot of things that have seemed, I would have thought impossible until today or yesterday.
A couple of sort of shops down, there's a door closed, but sort of kind of as you sort of like moving in that direction, you peer in and you see in that room there is this kind of cube of blackness that doesn't seem natural.
Well, I mean, if that's the only thing that is looking funny, then I think we
With
must
your
check it out.
analysis, you suspect that if you don't know precisely what that is, that is the thing that is bringing the most.
Yeah.
There's this kind of like 8-9 foot cube in the middle of what looks like a magic shop. Perhaps you even see like a sign on the side that says Isles spelled with an A of enchantment. But as you're sort of heading into it, you can tell that this is a room full of, it's like a magic shop, you know, magic tricks and all that stuff.
Yeah, perhaps then I do not want to touch it directly, but if I can find something, you know, maybe a meter stick or something that I could use to poke at it first.
You look around, you don't see any yardstick measuring devices, but you can find without a roll like a, you know,
if it's a magic shop, I'm sure there's some kind of wizard staff.
Wizard staff is,
something.
yes,
Yeah.
exactly. You can find a wizard staff, no problem.
Yeah, I'm going to carefully start poking at it, see if it does anything.
Felix, you feel something poking you.
Can Felix make a sound?
You can.
Who's there? Hello?
Friedrich, you hear nothing, but you can tell you're touching something.
So can I try and like, you know, like when, like a blueberry rolls under the fridge and you like try and like use something to like kind of push it out?
I do know what you're talking about. Yes, you can.
Yeah.
You're going.
Yeah, I want to
low
try and like
sort
see if
of
I can get around and push whatever this is out
shoving.
of the darkness.
Yeah, go ahead and make. I think that would be a lift, I guess. Unless there's a. It's lift or it's honestly it's everything it is. It's going to be the same for you because it's either lift.
Can I do
or like,
fine motor skills? Because I'm like trying to finagle it.
You're trying to finagle it, but you're pushing against something that is many
Yeah,
more.
but I'm an engineer. I know how to apply leverage. I know how physics works.
All right, do it. Do a fine motor skills. You need
2 1s.
2 1s. You feel that you've moved something a little bit, but it has not. And Felix, you feel yourself being shifted. Felix, at this point, you can feel a little more movement in your body. You do feel a little more, like you can tell something like rubbing against your back and kind of has shifted you slightly. But at this point, Friedrich, as you're sort of on the ground doing this, you hear this sort of running footsteps as a guy is saying, actually, wait. Yes, as a guy is running you and saying, no, you don't leave. They said he's gotta be, and Friedrich, as you're sort of doing that, you can roll a dodge.
Dodge. Oh boy. No matches.
No matches. This figure just like slams into you from the side. Your already wounded body. 3 damage coming your way.
I'm now at 0 power.
So basically, you're out of power, but you haven't taken any conditions. So
Yeah.
you can recover power. You have no conditions. But basically, you were slammed from the side as this guy's like on you, pulling you back. Felix, you feel whatever was against you is like pulled away very rapidly. However, Friedrich, once again, your bikinied accompaniment, she is now like pulling sort of this guy off and saying, hey, lover boy, don't leave me out. And he goes, whoa. And you then... How does she kill this guy? She starts basically, Friedrich, you're in bad shape. Something's happening. You can't even see what's going on. Felix, is there anything you would like to do? You feel something pulling against you on the side. You're very sort of like, you're feeling this kind of like, you're being disturbed, or now something's like been ripped away from you.
What can I see? Just nothing?
Black.
It's
utter black. It's like a dark you've never experienced. You can't even see like your hand in front of your face.
And I don't know if I'm encased in something or just experiencing.
Yes, you are not sure at that point.
I just try to reach out and just grab something.
Perfect. As you reach, it seems like you're pushing your way through like a jelly. It's not wet, but it's like or like you're inside foam. Please make a resist coercion roll, also under your will. Meanwhile, Friedrich is just getting pounded. But now that guy is getting pounded, and not in a good way. Or actually, maybe in his last moments, he's like, this is a good way.
Death by snoo.
I got a pair of 2s, rhetoric.
Pair of 2s. Okay, with rhetoric is actually good in this because it's about kind of like strategy. And though you're sort of pulling through, you're basically managed to force what you can feel this space is trying to prevent your body from moving, and it's like trying to do that by just making your mind feel it is too hard to get out. But nevertheless, you're able to push. Nevertheless, he persisted in this case, and you're able to just like push your way. And eventually you're sort of like, Friedrich, as you're sort of sitting up. By the way, she kills this guy like Xenia Onatop from GoldenEye. It's just some like thigh master stuff. Or maybe she's doing or maybe it's like the Sonya Blade in Mortal Kombat and she snaps his neck with her. Anyway, the point is she's using her thighs because she does those workout tapes. But Friedrich, you see some fingers beginning to poke out of the black, kind of like clawing their way out. Fingers that you recognize because they're the same looking fingers as on your own hand. Because you know what you're very familiar with your own fingers.
Yeah, I try and grab the fingers and help pull out.
Felix, you feel incredibly familiar fingers interlocking with your fingers in a not at all homoerotic way.
Just in a twins way.
Yeah.
Friedrich, your fingers. I feel them. I don't know if he can hear me, but that's what I say.
He cannot, and you can't hear him. But if he keeps pulling and tugging, and you keep going against it, soon, Felix, you are pulled out of this, and like the moment you are almost overwhelmed with the light, even as dim as it is in this room, and the sound of the storm outside, and the sound of like the voluptuous bikini girl, as she's like strangling this guy to death with her thighs, as she's kind of going, and he's going, yeah. You hear some grunting sounds. He's like, and she's like, yeah, that's the noises.
Friedrich, it was awful. I was experiencing existential isolation like we've talked about, my worst fear.
I'm so glad you are not alone now. They were trying to make me experience paralysis, which
Terrible.
is my worst fear. But then the voluptuous bikini team dancer came and saved me.
They are so brave.
We are doing great. We must find Medina and Sophie. I do not know where they are.
Yeah, Felix, you do in fact see the bikini team dancer as she's like smearing some blood off of the inside of her thighs, basically, but in like a different kind of way. There's a lot of context. The point is she's like, no, those don't happen in Voluptua. In Voluptua, you never have to run a red light. So basically, as she's kind of as Friedrich's helping you up, and you're saying you want to find the others. We will cut back to Medina and Sophie as now Wednesday has kind of come in and just covered with more blood, and she's saying, "Oh, I've just been of such service today, miss."
You have, thank you.
Yes.
Did you kill those men?
Oh, yes, miss. And I... Oh,
They're dead.
oh, yes. In fact, based on what you were saying, I wasn't sure what you were asking for, but, I did take their eyes for you, miss.
Oh,
She
Christ.
holds out just, like, you don't have to get too close to it. Yeah, that probably happens, but she took their eyes.
Sophie, I will turn and vomit.
Yeah, thank you, Medina. I mean, I guess if you want to keep him, you can. I guess. Oh, I guess you earned it.
Oh, I don't have any desire to keep eyes.
Okay,
I thought
good.
It was a rather... She just kind
No.
of like... She kind of like... She does it like this, basically. Hold on, let me find 4 things that are really eyeball-like. Yeah. She does a real, Come on, I need one more D20. There we go. She's like, oh, I don't want them. So she just lets them, like, squish
Oh.
onto, just roll out of her hand, squish onto the ground.
I'm gonna throw the rag that I have in my hand on them. Just.
We did whatever awful, but I do not want a human eyeball. It's,
Something about this night is... I'll also say that Medina and Sophie, like your adrenaline is probably pumping here, but like there is still this like the miasma of this mist from the rain. Like it's as if like the scent of ozone that happens during rain is just like you know, eyes are watering. It is hard to breathe. You do notice that Wednesday seems unaffected, and she seems enjoying it. She seems... Oh no. What an invigorating night, miss.
The
how
mist's
can
not.
you breathe? It's so.
Yeah,
You not? Perhaps you're coming down with consumption.
It's.
no.
Wouldn't that be
We're
terrible
not-
if I had to administer to you?
No.
We need to find the others.
Yes, miss. As you plan. We're gonna basically...
Do we know why?
Go ahead.
I was going to ask, do we know why the people outside are screaming?
Make an analyze roll, either of you. Hey, analyze this, analyze that. That's equal.
Hey, is that under?
It's under
some
intellect.
Okay.
I think actually Medina's pretty good at these.
And I failed. I'm not doing great
You know
tonight.
what? Because it's a dark time for you.
Yeah.
I keep rolling 6s, so I got 2 6s.
2 6s. You suspect that the fears that were being read about you, the fears you're experiencing, are happening everywhere. I also think that you guys understanding to some degree that it wasn't just the storm, it was something else. You probably suspect that the storm is the mist and the fear and like the facing things and like apparitions. The horror surge is people actively trying to do something about it. People whom you have thus evaded so far, aside from you, Medina, because they handed you over to a conjuration, because why not? But
They're mean.
Felix and Friedrich, what would you guys do at this point? Would you try to go back to that pharmacy? What would your strategy be here?
I would ask the voluptuous bikini team dancer if she knows where Wednesday is, or
Oh my
Medina or
God.
Sophie.
Are you into Wednesday? That would be so hot. Because she's all like buttoned up. I would love to watch her dance. I bet it would be crazy. I bet she's crazy in bed, right?
I think
You little
crazy is
horn dog.
definitely
Look at
one
you. Oh
way-
my God, he's blushing.
Crazy is definitely one way to put it.
So basically, but she says, we can try to find your new girlfriend. I'm not even jealous. Or maybe I'm a little jealous. And then she just like twirls her hair, does a deep plie, and she'll start leading you guys out. She like slaps the ground. You know what they know what I'm talking about. I can't describe it, but yeah. Then we will sort of say, not too long thereafter, Wednesday, Medina, and Sophie see some more figures kind of like coming into like the doors, which are a Friedrich and Felix, both of who look like pretty worse for wear. I think interesting about Felix is, despite having his like pancreas removed, or was it Friedrich who had his pancreas and things removed?
Yeah, that wasn't me.
Okay, so yeah, so Friedrich looks rough. Medina looked like Friedrich, Medina, and Sophie look exhausted. Felix looks like not the best ever, but he has some strength left to him. But as you guys kind of return, and like the voluptuous bikini team dancer is coming in, and she's just like, they're all soaked from the rain, and she, like Wednesday, seems totally fine. She seems totally like honestly, she and Wednesday seem more animated than you've ever seen them. They're really grooving. This is their vibe. And as they walk in, oh my god, everyone's still alive. That's so sexy. Do you guys want to learn to dance? It's like a really good way to like get your heart rates beating and just feel a little better. All you gotta do is just put your hips into it.
No. Yeah, we need to rest or something. We're all injured.
I could dance.
You should dance. She also looks at Wednesday and says, "This one wants to fuck your brains out." Wednesday says, she turns to Friedrich with like her knife still in hand, a knife just like dripping with blood. Her maid costume is covered in blood, and she just goes, "I'd love to see you try, sir." And on that note, as the thunder rolls outside, and we
And the
sit
lightning strikes.
at a beautiful 12 on the dread clock, that is where we'll end tonight's
Sorry, guys.
session.
No. Should I mention to everyone that Polly is
You certainly can, or you can do that next week, or you can kind of it can be mentioned here, and you guys can certainly
discuss it? Okay.
We tried with her.
Did. She is still alive as far as we know. I want someone who is like a supernatural fan to write a Dean. Fuck, what's the other one's name?
I never watched it.
Shit.
I'm a fan of all sorts of supernatural
Sam.
things.
No, I want someone who's a supernatural fan to write like a Dean Sam fanfic, but about Felix and
what's
Friedrich.
just like a fan who isn't real, like a fan who's fiction, a fan who has magic powers? I don't understand what
A
you're saying.
slash, like a slash.
Everybody, thank you so much for watching. This was super fun. They all did survive, but
Barely.
they are rough for the wear, and there's another storm on the way. And
Oh baby, is there?
And
Yeah,
the cool thing about Jason is you can kill him a lot of times, but like his slasher film namesake, he'll just keep coming back every time.
Keeps coming back.
So that was really fun. And you've learned something about these summoned characters.
Yeah, except mine is gonna kill me anyway.
Yeah, it's like you're doing like a rock in a dead place. Do we have people to thank in chat and everything? I was not seeing chat today.
We do have
Yeah, we do.
we do. We have new follows tonight. Captain Ninja 420 followed us this evening. Thank you, Captain Ninja 420. We had some cheering bits from. I'm sorry if I. Oh, am I trending yet? Cheered 100 bits. WinMax07 followed this evening. A stream of May cheered 30 bits this evening.
Thank you.
Apostrophe this, of course, resubscribed. We had some other resubscribers. James from Texas, Pierce, of course, Sophia. Oh, that was 4 days ago, but hey, shout out. And then we also have F. Jenzes der Auras followed this evening. Downtown Julie cheered 100 bits. And then Niga Chanzi followed this evening. So thank you all.
Thank you so much.
For following your cheers in your comments. And I apologize if I got the names wrong.
Appreciate you guys coming to check this out. Is Sophia still in chat?
Yes.
Sophia, I'm going to make a personal appeal to you. I believe as of now that right now you are the only person today who is not doing karaoke in the Lost Lore Academia activity. If you guys have a perfect karaoke day, that might mean something. So I know you're trying to get Fireman, which is a noble goal and does give you extra stuff this day. But if you were to switch to karaoke today again, we could have a perfect karaoke day, and that might mean something. Because right now you guys are crushing it in karaoke. You have I think you're already at like 25 karaoke or something. I think that would bring you to 25 karaoke. It would be crazy. So throwing that out there as a thing to maybe change yours to today, and then do that another day when other people aren't all just chained to the rhythm. Also, somebody should do Chained to the Rhythm by Katy Perry. That's a really underrated, very catchy pop song from the past 5 years. Remember that song? Chained
Yep,
to the rhythm,
sure do.
Chained to the rhythm. Dance, dance, dance to the distortion. I'm going to stop singing it. Would anybody like to plug stuff they do or stream or are into?
No.
Fair enough. You don't have to.
No.
Go ahead, Dan.
No,
I
I didn't
feel
stream this week because it was a weird week. But we're gonna be. I'm not gonna stream this weekend. You know why? I'm gonna be at the fucking Renaissance Fair this weekend. So I hope you all have fun. And I'll stream next week.
I stream occasionally as well on my channel on Twitch. 7:30s on Thursdays sometimes.
If you like bonsai trees, follow Zane's Trees on Instagram and TikTok, where I teach people how to make little trees and experience joy with them.
And what if people like bonsai swords?
Then I don't know I don't even know what to say to that. I don't know.
Swords.
I feel like
just follow Zane swords. And also, I wanted
that was a gimme.
I wanted to say, because I know how important it is to
As
you.
opposed to a gimbal.
And guys, it's really important to him that you say bonsai when talking about the trees, not bonsai. So I wanted to say there's
Bonsai.
bonsai trees, but the bonsai swords.
Okay, now I get where you were going. I'm a little slow today. So
You're my little
The
twin
assist.
today.
yeah. So anyway. Liv, your turn.
I mean, I don't have anything exciting right now going on.
What?
Um,
What? What about?
my episodes have aired.
It's streaming. It's forever.
Okay.
Yeah. Once they've aired, it no longer exists.
Okay,
Right? That's how that
well,
works.
As a reminder, I am in this season of Star Trek Picard. If you have not seen this week's episode yet, stay off the internet. Don't go on Memory Alpha.
good.
Stay away because there's a huge thing and it's getting spoiled like crazy. And next week is the finale. I will be at the live stream of the finale in LA next week as a guest. Not doing anything. I'll just be there. So if anyone's in LA who watches us, I'll be there. Say hi. I'm not going to be up with the main panel or anything like that, but I will be there, milling about, enjoying the final episode of this crazy season with everyone who was able to snag a ticket. So
This season's been very fun. Definitely check it out. If you like what we do on this channel, I mean, then welcome, because it's that we all have very similar weird taste. Then please follow us, subscribe if you're able. You can use your free Prime subscription that you get for being an Amazon Prime member. You can have a free one for Twitch. You have to do it every month, which is obnoxious, but very helpful to us. If you don't give it to us, use one of our fine, contributors or other streamers, or use it somewhere, because it's free. You might as well. They're banking on you not using it. That's how Amazon wins. We have other streams on this channel, like such as, and for instance, on Mondays. Well, okay, wait. On Sundays, we have varying things. But this week we are back with Here Be Dragons to see how the murder mystery goes out. But on alternating Sundays, we do our Mystic Starport Star Wars games. On Mondays, we have Lost Lore Academia. This next week is actually going to be crazy because I'm introducing some major plot points because I feel this is maybe a game that could use things happening to them as opposed to what theme park are we going to design today.
I don't know what you mean.
Yeah. And then on Tuesday, we are back with Gray in the Dark. This is going to be a fun one because, because there's talking oxen and cows and multiple members of the party are like tied up and unknown to people. It's fun. Noir fun there. And then 1 week from tonight, we'll be back to see how the heck these guys get out of this situation they're in. They are stranded in the midst of a storm in paradise, far from the safety of campus, with, I think, like a total of like 9 power between the 4 of them. So it's going to be great. Yes, please join us for that. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for playing. This is always so much fun, and I'm so excited how frequently we get to do it. Until next time.
All the time is how frequently we get to do it.
Yeah, that's fair. On a weekly basis, but more weekly for some of you. But still, it's still exciting every time, at least in this guy's very upsetting book. All right.
I'm sorry for moving the dread clock so far ahead, everyone.
You're not the one who caused all this.
No,
It was
no.
me, so.
They were both necessary. They were both necessary.
They were so necessary.
So necessary. All right. On that note, everyone,
Your face is necessary.
thank you for watching, and have a dreadful night.